we go. I am Richie. This is Six String Fun. That was She's the One. Hopefully it sounded like She's the One by Springsteen off the Born to Run album, 1975. Great album, cover to cover. Yeah, really was. So maybe you know this, maybe you don't. Number one, please like, subscribe, Six String Fun, all that good stuff. As things come out, you're notified. I was in a Springsteen cover band for about 10 years, and that was certainly a song. Once we got to know it, once we had a sax player, Perry, my man, we were able to start pulling off some more of those songs with the horn in it. We even did the Born to Run album cover to cover at one gig, which was just mind blowing. We did about 3 or 4 other songs, and we went right into Thunder Road and took it all the way to Jungle Land, which was just fantastic. So this is She's the One, key of E, off the Born to Run album. I played it a little bit differently live. Maybe at the end I'll just kind of show you how I played it. Same key, I just played it a little bit different with being that we were in a full band. Acoustic wise, you can certainly do this, okay? Key of E, and it's kind of like Rosie, where that's the key of F, I think. They're playing every chord possible within that key. Kind of similar here. You're just not playing one chord, one note basically, but you're playing the E, your 1, 4, 5, your E, your A, and your B, and then you're playing the minor. C sharp minor, you're playing G sharp minor, F sharp minor, and then we're back into, all right. But the intro, so we're gonna take a look at the intro, probably the most iconic part of that particular song in a way, if at least the way I looked at it, but of course the horn is a big thing too. We'll take a closer look, see what you think, and we'll get going on this. She's the One, Bruce Springsteen, let's go for it. All right, let's get into this one. She's the One, Springsteen, 1975, Born to Run album. Breakthrough album. I was 25 years old. I don't know what I was doing when I was 25 years old, but I wasn't making an album like that. So the tune starts off basically off of an E suspended 4 and an E. So E suspended 4, E. Now again, this is how the album goes. If you're a fan of Springsteen, if you watch some of the live shows he's done over the last 10, 20 years, he's playing a little bit different. At least I think he is. He's kind of playing like that Hendrix opening chord, right? But we'll get into that later. I'll kind of show you how I've done that. But it's going to be E sus 4, E. So listen to the timing, listen to the record, get the rhythm. So that note right there, going from the sus 4 to the E is key. And then you'll hear I kind of go from, I actually pull off. I go. Hear that? So keep that kind of that one little maneuver right there makes a big difference, I think. But you're doing however you want to do it. Again, we're doing it on the acoustic guitar. You don't have the horn, you don't have the keys, you don't have a whole bunch of stuff. So make it your own. That's what's great about some of these songs. Now for the verse, you're using E, A, and B. Okay, so it's going to go from the E to the A. I tend to bar it because what I'll do is I'll hit the A, and then I use, whatever finger I want to use to kind of go to a suspended 4 here. But again, you can just play the A. And we go back to the E. When we're ready to make another change, we're going to B. Right? Nice A. Whoa. Whoops. Whoa. Let's get that right. So anyway, we're good up to that point. So, right? Back to the E. To the... There's actually a D in there. So there is that D. I said there wasn't a D, but he actually throws it in there. So shame on me. So let's do this again real quick. E. With a killer grace, right? Back to the E. Okay. Right? The midnight sun. So it's an A, D to an A. I forgot all about that. I don't know how many times I played this, but I'm just kind of doing this off the cuff today. She's the one. So there you go. Those are your chords for the verse. Your E, your A, back to the E, to the B, to the A, to the D. So it's that she's the and then the band kicks in. And it kind of goes more into like that Bo Diddley type of sound, funk pattern, however you want to, right? So that's kind of how that song takes off from there. So you're going into the second verse with more of a little pep to it. But you're playing the same thing. It's the same chords, same progression, basically. You're just kind of changing a few things up here. Okay? And then we're going to go into the chorus again. And then there's the bridge. The bridge, we play every bar chord known to mankind, it seems like. C sharp minor. G sharp minor. F sharp minor. Back to the B. And I'm pretty sure I throw an A in there. Back to the E. So when you go into the bridge, I don't know the lyrics off the top of my head now. So use your, use your hand as a percussive instrument as well for that. Just give it some dynamics. C sharp minor, G sharp minor, F sharp minor, B. So those are the 5 chords I'm playing in the bridge. C sharp minor. And there's some bass notes in there. I mean, I kind of always faked it my way through it. And sometimes instead of playing a full B, I've actually played the B sus2 just to kind of get some more air into those chords. And then it goes back into that main rhythm. And it's kind of like that whole part of the song, whoa, she's the whoa, right? And it continues. You're playing the E, the A, and the B. You're playing that. But you'll find that when you're listening and you're playing along, when they're on the E, and when they go to the A, they're holding it for half as long as they've done in the other parts of the song. And then when they go to the B, they're holding that for almost twice as long. I don't know how many bars it was. But in my head, it was four times around the progression, basically. So there's the turnaround there from, again on B. And then there's that, I don't even know what you would call it, but it's... Right? They do that about they do it 3 times, but each time, I mean, the timing is there, but how they're doing it is different. That's 1. Okay, second time is, that's 2, and then the third one's probably the easiest. And then, I don't know if it's on the album or, well, I know live, he'll count it in 1, 2, kind of come back in on that E. So that's the basic structure of the song. Make it your own, for sure. And I kind of, so again, those are the chords. That's the basic structure. That's how I've done it. If you've got a full band behind you, you can get away with not doing certain things. And if it's just you on the acoustic guitar, again, same thing, not doing certain things, but it's going to work. I mentioned earlier when I played it live, I kind of played it a little bit differently. I played this big open E chord. What we would do is we would have the keys come in, and I would just kind of come in underneath them. And I would pick some open notes. So I would just use that over that first verse, basically. And I would do the same thing with the A. So I'm playing like suspended chords just to kind of give it some life. That's all I would do. And then for the B, I would play that suspended. Oops. Again, another way you can do it. If you want to kind of just do it slower, you can play those chords. And that's it. She's the One. Springsteen. Enjoy. Hopefully you like it. Hopefully you can play it. Hopefully you can play it better than me. That's honestly what it's all about, right? So, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, right? See you later. Bye. So, what's going on, everyone? Good to see you. Thanks for checking the video out. Really do appreciate it. Gonna continue on. The last video I did was The Promised Land, and some will argue that this is part 2 of The Promised Land, which is The Price You Pay, on the next album that Springsteen put out after Darkness on the Edge of Town, which was The River. So, similar chords, very straightforward strumming. We're going to go over it. Again, if you haven't done so, please like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that good stuff. But for this one, the chords are pretty straightforward. You got a G, and I'm playing the G, the 3-finger G, basically throughout, I would say, most of the song, because of the way it goes back and forth between the C, and there's certain times I like to get the high G on that E string in there, okay, the high G right there. So, but it's a G, it's a C, we've got a D in there, and then occasionally you've got a B minor, and then there's one E minor at the very end, which is, I don't know, it's either brilliant or just was luck how that one chord thrown in there in the last verse tonally changes everything and just the mood of the song. So if you know the song, you know what I'm talking about. If not, I'll show you. But let's get into it. The strumming pattern. Again, remember, this is a lot going on here. You got keyboard, organ, saxophone. Again, typical Springsteen type of tune. We're going to strip it down to the acoustic guitar. So probably one of those things where it's less is more is kind of how this goes. So the strumming... I mean, you can get away with that for most of the song, right? So the intro is going to be based on the G, C, the B minor, and the D. So I'll play it for you and we'll break it down. So that's the first part of the intro, which is also going to be later in the harmonica solo. I think it's the same progression, so keep that in mind. It's the G to the C, and then quickly back to the G, back to the C. I gotta do fast. Yeah, I was right. So it's 2 times. So it's gonna go through the G, intro, to the C, to the C, hold that G for 1 measure, to the B minor, which is, you can go with B minor 7, which is kind of the turnaround, and you're going to play it again. All right, so go through it again slowly, breaking down the intro into 2 parts. Here's the first part. Back again. C, G, D, G. Okay, so that G is your intro, it's your turnaround, and it's kind of coming to the end here, the intro, I guess, which is the same chord we're starting on for the verse. The verse, I leave it up to you. You can strum it. I tend to strum, and then I just kind of go up maybe 3 strings, maybe E, B, and G, and that's why I keep my pinky at times on that 3rd fret of the E string. The okay, especially at the C. Okay, so you kind of have that melody note for your G and your C chords. Okay, so the verse is going to be this. So again, you can strum it, you can pick it, but just remember you're holding these chords a little bit longer than usual because it's not a quick turnaround most of the time on these exchanges. kind of the tempo and the pattern. C. Back to the G. To the D. So again, like most of these songs, there's patterns here. So in the verse, it's G, C, G, D. Okay? And then we start it again. So back to that G, C. Okay? So G, C, G, D, G, C. Okay? And then when we go back there for the fourth time, we're going to change it up a little bit. It's going to be G. So let's play it together. Here's your C. Back to the G. Right, back to it. To the D. Back to the G. Back to the C. And that's going to be your pattern for 97% of all the verses. There's 5 verses. The first 4 are identical. That's the pattern throughout all of them. Okay, and then we're going to get into the chorus, basically, which is kind of very similar. Little hint there is that the chorus is actually the last few measures of the verse, if that makes sense. So a lot of repetition of the same notes here, very simple, very straightforward, and that's almost the entire song right there. There's a couple little nuances here and there if you really want. I mean, again, I'm just strumming here, so we're not really diving too deep into it, but we went over the intro. I'm gonna try that again. You could play a D or you could play a B minor there. I'll be honest, I think the B minor is much better, but the D is also can be used if you can't get that bar chord. So that little that bar chord, little cheat there if you want to do the B and the D instead. Okay, so and then the verse to the C, back to the G. To the D, back to the G, to the C, to the G, quick, to the D of the C. And you'll hear the variation because I'm picking my pinky up on and off of that high E string just for feel, just trying to make it a little bit different. So that's your verse. We went over the chorus, which is basically that back end of the verse. But anyway, you get it. So that's the, I don't know how many, I guess you got verse, chorus, verse, chorus. I don't know how many verses there are until the harmonica solo, but you know it's there. You'll know the harmonica solo is basically just the intro again, right? But there's one part that's going to change a little bit. Is there's going to be a little walk down. So let me see if I can kind of do this whole thing. Again, that B minor you can do too. there. So all I'm doing, I'm taking that C, bass note on the second fret of the F. Where did that come from? The A string. So it's basically C. Okay, so my bass note is the C on the third fret, walking it to the B note on the second fret A string, and then open for the open A. Okay, that's the difference there for that one. Final verse is where we've got one E minor chord thrown in there. So again, we're going to kind of go through the G to C, and then we go G to the D, right? To the G, to the C. And here we go. G to the D, to the E minor, to the C. What we did there was we kind of just played that G, D, C progression. We did a G, D, E minor thrown in there to the C, and we repeated the G to the D to the C, and it goes right back into the main parts of the song. So there you go. Pretty much the entire tune right there, the price you pay off the river. So if you want to get a little more creative, you've got somebody else playing guitar, you don't have harmonica, just kind of jam in either a G major or even E minor scale. Right? So you got it. You can kind of mess around with that. So make it your own. But again, this is pretty stripped down. I think a simple way to do it. Even when I did it with the full band, there was still a lot going on where I didn't need to do too much, just kind of hold the rhythm pattern down, and I played harmonica. So enjoy. Let me know what you think. Comment below, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks. Good to see you. Thank you much for stopping by once again. 4 chords on the Springsteen tune. I'm going down off the Born in the USA album. If you could play an A, if you play an E, if you can get away with a power chord, the F sharp power chord here with the bass on the 6th string, 2nd fret, or a full F sharp minor and a D, lesson over. You got it done. A to the E. I'll call it the F sharp for now because I'm playing the full chord. Here's that pattern. And then it kind of kicks in, playing full chords. Pretty simple. The key to this tune is just knowing when to full chords or just kind of palm muting with the dynamics. Really, that's the tune. It repeats the entire time. Listen to the song. You'll hear the dynamics go up and down. Full band, no guitar, palm muting guitar. Fun one to play because I think most people would know it. So enjoy it. That's a quick one. That's really it. A, E, F sharp minor, I should say, to the D. Good night, Springfield. Thank you for checking the channel out again. Really do appreciate checking this video out. If you haven't done so, like, subscribe, bell, all that good stuff. You know what you're doing there. Check it out. Going to go back to the Springsteen catalog for a little bit here. I have to say this is probably one of the harder songs I've ever tried learning, in his catalog. Not because of the song itself, but just how he strums and plays this tune. I mean, really, we're going to be using a handful of chords. Again, I have the capo on the 3rd fret because I believe it's in the same key as the album, key of F. You know, relative D minor, all that good stuff. But we're going to be playing, again, I'm going to just call out the chords relative to the capo itself, right? So an A minor, a G, a C, and an F. But I tend to cheat the F. I'll play kind of like this. Those 4 middle strings. Not really touching the E's at all, but it's just kind of how I do it. And there's a couple moves in here, kind of walk downs, things like that just give that song its flavor. One of them in particular is the A minor to a G, basically like almost like just a passing note. And you can strum this. Right? So that's one way to do it there, right? So you can strum it, or you can arpeggiate the notes. And what I'm doing is I'm kind of just using those middle strings. I'm not touching, at least I don't think I'm touching the E strings. Right? So I'm starting on the open A. So I'm going down, I think I'm going down all 4. 1. It's just the timing. I'm kind of hanging on that open A a little bit longer. And when you hear that first high note, I'm going down to the B string and coming back up. And I go from the B, I'm going back up to the D to the G. So that's, if you want to arpeggiate it, you can do that if you want to strum it. But it starts off on that chord. Man walking alone, right? So all that is A minor to the C to the G. Okay? Going someplace and there's no going back. Hang on that. And that's kind of like the turnaround for that first part of the verse. So really what I do is I'm holding that A minor shape and I'm using my pinky. Open E, relative minor to the, or I should say relative to the capo. I'm on the 3rd fret, 1, 2, 3. To that open A. Open E, 3. Again, open E, 3, A. And sometimes I'll hit the E string just to give it that some flavor. But again, you can strum it. All I'm doing, they're just playing the A minor, the C, and the G, and I'm just kind of hammering, pulling. Okay, that's your verse. So just listen to that. Your chorus is going to come in on the F. As far as looking at my notes here, sorry, I just got to write a few things down. But it's the F to the C. All right, so it's going to be F. What the heck was that? Anyway, F. Right? So it's kind of like a walk. So. So just the F, C, and I walk it down to the A minor, back to the G. right, so the chorus. There we go. All right. Pretty much, as far as the other parts of the song, let's take a look here. I'm just kind of looking at my notes real quick. Again, because this is the one that I know plenty of songs by memory. I had to write some notes down here, though. But they're all the same notes, though. I mean, you know, A minor, C, and G. The C really kind of is more of like a passing chord or passing note for most of the song. That A minor is going to be huge, the G, and the F. Okay, the bridge. Right? Right, so the song pretty much stays the same throughout. Listen to it, but I will tell you this, and again, it's based on my experiences, the way Springsteen has this rhythm pattern for this song, and other songs as well, but this one in particular, it's hard to detect sometimes. Even on the studio recording of The Ghost of Tom Joad, the guitar in the intro is really, I mean, really just an acoustic guitar for the most part, but it's tucked so far below the vocals, you really have to listen to kind of hear where that is. And that's kind of why at times I've just kind of come up with my own pattern to follow the vocal pattern for the most part. I'm sure there's a way, the reason he does it just because it flows with his vocals and he can make it any way he wants it. If you're just, you know, singing with a guitar, you can do anything you want. So I would say that has something to do with it, but listen to it again. We went over the chords already. Okay, the F, again, you can play the full bar, but I just kind of do the cheat right here. All right, but give it a shot, give it a listen. A lot of people aren't a fan of The Ghost of Tom Joad and that album or the song. I get it. But I have to say it probably resonates a lot with me because this was the first time I saw Springsteen live, 95 at the Beacon Theater. Might have been December 18th. Someone fact check me on that. I think it was December 18th, Beacon Theater, New York City. And despite him being solo the whole way, there was still an energy in that room, you know, as far as, you know, the Springsteen live performance. So check it out. You know, the album out if you haven't. There's some good stuff on there. Again, the acoustic stuff, Nebraska, Ghost of Tom Joad, Devils and Dust. Great music as far as just songwriting, I thought. So anyway, enough babbling. If you haven't done so, please like, subscribe, hit the bell, all those good things we always discuss. Any requests, let me know, and I will see you on the next video. Take care.